Hello, welcome to your weekly Pick Your Crystal reading here at Soulprint. This is for the week of October 26th through November 1st. For those of you celebrating Halloween, have a good one. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this. We've got a sort of a blue-white marbly, I'm just calling it blue, okay, this crystal. And, oops, doesn't want to sit up, there we go. And amethyst, purple. And, you know, I think this might be a moonstone, but I could be wrong. But we're calling it gold. Okay? So, blue, purple, gold. Take a moment. You may be drawn to one, two, or very often all three. Um, so just take a moment, see what your intuition or your pendulum or your gut is telling you. Let's get started. All right. So, the world, the Eight of Cups, the Sun, and Justice. Okay. So the world is very often a card that represents the end of a cycle, and a new one that is allowed to begin. So there is a sense of completion and a sense of renewal or rebirth. The Eight of Cups here is sort of telling an interesting story because it's talking about feeling that way um, after sort of feeling um, that you needed to abandon a path, as if there was some disillusionment there, feeling emotionally unfilled. It's basically a walking away card, okay? Um, and the sun, well, the sun is like the ultimate card, right? I mean, it is about having all of the elements of your life coming together. So there is, emotional happiness, there's financial security, there's a sense of contentment. It's all wrapped up in the sun. And the final card is justice. So this is curious to me because it's sort of an interesting grouping of cards. So the world very definitely feels like something has run its course. Okay, so there's a sense of completion. You may be profoundly disappointed about having to walk away from this situation. It didn't turn out the way you wanted it to or had hoped it to. But there is a sense of I just sort of like enough. Like I'm laying this to rest. It's time to start a new beginning, a new chapter. It's time to move forward. And the sun is basically saying, listen, you have got amazingly bright roads ahead. So that's where your focus and attention should be. But the justice card is interesting here because it makes me wonder if part of what this is all about has to do with either some sort of a legal resolution or documentation, whether it is simply representing a balancing, so that there is a more just um, feeling or result. But it's curious, right? Because you've got the sort of the sense of disappointment, this ending of a cycle, a rebirth, a new birth, and then a balancing or a sense of justice. So whatever's going on in the first two cards, you're sort of being told or suggested that perhaps things may just get a little bit better as you move forward because there's a great potential for, sort of happiness and contentment and um, sort of, dreams come true, wishes coming true, living the life you would like. And that's going to create a sense of balance. Again, whether this has something to do with legalities or something else. But I mean, like the end of a relationship, feeling sad about having to walk away from it, a new beginning, a new start that is just so much better for you. And ultimately that sense of balancing or justice. So it could be a personal relationship, it could be a business relationship, or it could simply be a personal sort of cycle within your own life where you've come to the realization that it's time for something to close. And that may make you sad, but you have great optimism for the future. Okay. Good. Ace of Pentacles, King of Swords, Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Um, Alrighty. So pentacles tend to be about, earthly things, the physical body, work, your health, money, possessions, that kind of thing. And swords, which is the other suit here, is about, sometimes power, conflict. It's about your thoughts and your ambition. Sometimes it can have to do with somebody in uniform or the government. And the king is somebody who is um very successful, very strong. This is somebody who very often can be connected um to authority, to a strong sense of authority. What's curious here is you've got this Four of Wands here, and the Four of Wands is it indicating that there is a need for, or you are in a time of rest and recovery. So perhaps um there has been some sort of a health situation. Because of the pentacles here, it could even be some sort of a financial situation that there was a need to sort of pull back and recover from. But because you've got the Queen of Pentacles here, this is somebody who understands and knows their value and their worth. Not only are they capable, but they have the potential to be very, very successful because it's sort of like because they have a really good head on their shoulders, right? They know how to make that which is physical and tangible, whether it's money or documentation or something else, but they have a way of making it work for them and for their benefit. So you've got the Ace of Pentacles here, usually indicating the start of something new, something successful, a new venture, a new revenue stream coming your way. It can be, again, as I said, about important documents. Sometimes it even represents like a gift, right? An unexpected gift. Now, because you've got this King of Swords here with the Four of Swords, it feels as if, in some way, I almost want to say that there needs to be a sense of um, caution, which is not typical of the King of Swords energy, but that's sort of the feeling I'm getting. I think in part because of this Four of Swords, right? Um, Whatever's going on here, it feels like it's a little bit fatiguing or tiring, or there's a sense of recovery going on. And ultimately, you're going to move forward to a place where you are very confident, you're very comfortable with um, your abilities and what you can make work for you. It is almost a time for, well, on the one hand, for you to get practical, but the other side of it is it's time to actually start, tooting your own horn a little bit and recognizing your own capabilities and strengths, gifts, and talent. So you've got pentacles on either side of this. This bodes well because it's talking about a new revenue stream or a gift or something like that. And it's talking about with the queen, your ability to manage it, make it work for you, etc. Um, be mindful that there may be a period of lower energy, additional rest may be required. And in some ways, don't be surprised if somewhere in this there is not some sort of a legal or a government situation, or something like that, that may need to be addressed or sorted out. It doesn't, it's a king, so it's going to be successful, but just be mindful. If, for example, this Ace of Wands, or sorry, Ace of Pentacles is talking about a new revenue stream, you're going to want to be mindful that you set aside the taxes for it, or that you have the right documentation and paperwork in place. If this is some sort of a new business kind of venture, something new you're starting, it's that kind of an energy. It's like dot your I's, cross your T's. But overall, again, it looks like some really lovely energy moving forward, particularly because the big bonus of these 4 cards is that you come to understand your own worth and value. That's huge. All righty. And gold. All right. 7 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Alrighty then. So the 7 of Swords talks about the fact that it will be diplomacy. It will be being careful with your words. That is going to make this situation move forward in a way that is non-aggressive, not violent, not harmful. There's like a diplomacy that is required to move forward. 10 of Pentacles, fascinating, because of course the Pentacles are about, worldly possessions, and very often, 10 of Pentacles really does represent a abundance, family abundance, family stability. Sometimes it can represent an inheritance coming forward, or a gift, or simply an acknowledgement, or a re-understanding perhaps of your own finances, and recognizing that in some ways you maybe perhaps are in a lot better shape than you think or thought you were. Queen of Cups. So here with the Queen of Cups, you have that very kind and thoughtful energy. It's very sensitive. It's very intuitive. It's very caring. And the 8 of Pentacles talks about basically, sometimes it can be about a new job, or a new money making idea or venture. Sometimes, very often, from an existing talent of yours. It can also represent sort of like a very consistent, methodical approach to what you're doing. Um, it's about, staying the course. Um, Putting the energy and the effort into what you're accomplishing here, because ultimately that was going to work to your benefit. So again, whatever this situation is, be careful. Just be mindful that this is a situation of diplomacy. It could be something as simple as settling a will or sorting out an estate. It could be some sort of a situation where there is I almost want to say like a division of assets, or a sharing of assets, that kind of energy. So hang on to your diplomacy, okay? Um, Gentle energy, kind energy, um, healing energy, emotional support. are all hand in hand with this Queen of Cups. And again, with the Eight of Pentacles, they're talking about sort of, again, sort of a new revenue flow perhaps coming to you, but it really about being very consistent with what you're doing, what you're working on, um, and trusting that there will be benefits that will be reaped as the result of your hard work and your attention to what you're doing and doing successfully and well. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. We've somehow gotten to the very beginning of November. Like, wow. Time is flying by awful quickly. Until next week, I look forward to seeing you then. And between now and then, I hope you have a productive, happy, and pleasant week. Bye for now.